Hey, WokeNFree Nation, Newsly is an audio app for iOS and Android. It picks up web articles about the most trending topics on the web at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice.
For the first time in the history of the internet, the entire web becomes listenable. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling, start listening.
You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, science to Bitcoin, or even one of your favorite celebrities. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud.
And they have podcasts as well. Explore trending podcasts from over 50 countries. Our podcast, WokeNFree, is there too.
Now let's get into the episode. Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 283rd episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every single week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we're really excited to be discussing what's your love language. So if this is brand new to you, which I don't know how that could be, but if it is, you'll have lots to learn as well as be tantalized to make sure that you take your own love language test. But before we dive deep into the subject, a couple of things to go over. First, please go to WokeNFree.com, not just to listen to this episode, but to download it through the Podbean app. If you have the app, then you can put in your comments, and then you can tell us, what's your love language? And rather, love languages. There are 5. So really curious to hear your perspective on it. So please get the app and share. Now, if you listen to podcasts on a device where you can't download another app like the Podbean app, then a couple of tears will be shed. But what you can do to still support us is go to WokeNFree.com, go on the Listen tab, and then pick your platform of choice where you're going to follow and subscribe to the show. So we are on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora. It's a WokeNFree world. So lots of places to follow and subscribe, even if you can't download the Podbean app directly. Now, on WokeNFree.com, at the top of the page, you can also click subscribe to follow the show through the Podbean app. And on social media, we'd love for you to engage and follow and subscribe and connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokeNFree. And then if you have 90 seconds, which is more of a statement, less of a question, would love for you to review the show. Tell us how the show is feeding into your life. So how do you do that? Go to WokeNFree.com, pick your platform of choice through the Listen tab, and share your thoughts. And with that, I'm going to kick it to you, Khalil.
And before we start the conversation, we should share a little bit about ourselves. We do this each week, and this week we're asking, would you want the power to make people fall in love or destroy in hate?
Oh, those are really drastic comparison points. So just to be clear, fall in love generally or fall in love with me or you or whoever?
It can be anybody you want.
Ooh.
Or you can make people hate whoever they want.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Well, as a fan of love in and of itself, I would say my heart would lean towards wanting people to be able to fall in love, not necessarily with me, but I think that the idea to be able to create love connection seems super powerful and super meaningful, and that just seems super cool and like semi-Cupid, so that's where I'd go with that.
Okay. I think about it on practical terms that if you had the power to make people hate each other, you got to be careful because you might face some of that backlash because hate can go pretty far, right? I mean, what if people, they decide they want to like burn down a building or something and you live in that building, right? I mean, it's kind of dangerous. There's like a lot of backlash that can happen from that. Yeah. And I think humans already have a good ability to foster that kind of feeling. Like it's easy to
natural
and not to, it's an animal thing. I mean, I'm saying humans because that's who's listening to this, right? But
and that too.
That's who's listening. I mean, the other animals listening, I don't know how they feel, but I'm pretty sure they have fear as well. But that I think that's I don't think there's no need to add that to the world. But the love thing, you could do a lot of stuff. You can solve world hunger with it, I bet, because you'll have people that don't even consider others. You can have them fall in love with, just anybody. So I think to foster love would make people care about each other more and be more considerate in the actions that they choose. I think that is pretty powerful.
I love that. Yeah.
So it's definitely the way to go. You don't just have to use it for like personal gain. You can use it to solve a lot of these issues that we're like at a standstill with. Because, you know, there's people on both sides, and this is how you get them to love each other. Mm-hmm. You can have the most extreme people on, like, the far ends of different, different topics or
affiliations,
different... Yeah, you could have them fall in love. And when I think of fall in love, it's not necessarily, like, romantic love. It's just, like, you know, I really love you, and I hope the best for you, and all that kind of stuff. Well wishes, and yeah, that kind of thing. It doesn't necessarily mean romantic, so it could be anybody. It's not.
That's cool.
It's not about romantic relationships technically, so that's why I think.
Well, yeah, there's enough of that going around.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know how far this power could go. If you wanted to, you could make more of that, but I don't know.
That might be a bit extreme.
I don't know if that's necessary
to have more.
To be honest, and it gets kind of weird. That could get kind of weird depending on how far you want to go with that. But this is the episode that we're talking about, so of course we both chose that we should have the power of love, right? Mm-hmm. And just thinking of that, what is your love language?
I'm so glad that you asked. So in nature, or in line with our episode, really excited to share, not just here in the audio of our podcast, but on the speaker notes as well. You'll be able to see our profiles shared out
on the speaker notes.
Or not speaker notes, sorry, episode notes. Yep, thank you.
Oh, okay.
For the episode notes, you'll be able to see our laid out breakdown of what our profiles are, which is really exciting. So for mine, this is, I had number 1, love language was acts of service. And then number 2 were words of affirmation. Then number 3 were quality time. And then number 4, receiving gifts. And number 5, with a astounding 0%, would constitute physical touch. So the number 2 things that matter most to me for my love language, again, acts of service and words of affirmation, which was no surprise there. But let's see. Now for Khalil, you want to share yours?
I don't want to, but I'll share it anyway because that's just how the results came out. They're not what I chose, but it's just how I answered the questions and how the questions they arose. So my first one is physical touch. That's 33%. Acts of service is the next one at 30%.
Yeah.
Quality time, 17%. And it's tied with receiving gifts at 17%.
Yep.
And the last is words of affirmation with it's huge, 3%.
Nice. Very nice.
So those are mine. And physical touch is the number 1.
I know.
Words of affirmation is number 5.
I know.
For
we're complete opposite.
It's like opposite ends.
But the thing we do share is that we both have in the acts of service are both top love languages for us. So
that's high up there.
Yeah. Now, did these results surprise you in any way or no?
Yeah, I didn't think acts of service would have been second. I thought. I mean, when I think of it, I would think maybe receiving gifts would have been second, probably, but I guess it's not. And then I had to say that, you know, there was a question that I had to answer no to, and I think that skewed my result because you got to think about it. It asks, hey, do you want your partner to give you a back massage? But what if your partner doesn't know how to get back massages?
You're so trifling.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying personally.
Did you?
I'm not saying personally. I'm just saying. Imagine if that has come up for somebody.
You're so mean. My
why do you say that? Wait, why are you bringing up you?
You're so.
I'm not saying you. I'm talking.
Is there another lover you're talking about?
No, I'm saying. Imagine if somebody took this quiz. So no, think about it. If somebody took this quiz. If somebody took this quiz and it said, do you like back massages from your partner? And what if they don't like the back massages from their partner? I'm saying, what if? You don't make any sense.
You're so mean.
This is very confusing to me. I'm talking about the question at hand, and you're taking something out of context.
100% glow.
Look at you. Look at you trying to do that. You're so mean to think that this is all about you. I bet you think this song is about you.
It is. It is. It always is.
See, this is what's happening here. You can't go by that. But see how the questions can skew?
You are a liar.
All I'm saying is, look, the questions can be skewed because
tell the truth.
What if you know?
What
if some of the things that your partner does, they're not the best at?
Snap! Are you trying to go in?
No, not on you. I'm just saying the questions in general. People will see when they take it because they're like, well, my partner doesn't do that. So, I mean, that's not what their forte is.
You're so hateful.
No, I'm just saying, what if it isn't? I mean, maybe you want it, but... So I guess that's interesting.
You're rough. So essentially, you think that the test itself could be expanded or edited to not necessarily...
Or maybe they can make that clear that, like, what would ideally be... Like, even don't think of the partner that you're with now. Just think in an ideal world, is this what you would want? See, now thinking of it like that, I might have answered differently.
Interesting. And the other thing I was going to say, do you think your results are a little bit different now that you're a parent? Because maybe acts of service is more meaningful to you, given how much that could be more helpful when you are a parent, especially of a very dynamic child.
Yeah, I think that definitely was that definitely played a part in why acts of service rose up, especially now. Yeah. It makes it's better for me.
Absolutely. Okay.
Just takes the load off there. Mm-hmm. And you weren't surprised by it, though? No.
I mean, I've taken it a couple of times, and I think it's hilarious.
You've taken it a couple times?
Yeah, it's been consistent.
So you're supposed to take it once every month?
No, not that. I took it, like, I think maybe early last year, and then I did it again for, because I wanted to make sure we did it for WokeNFree Nation. But, pretty much the same results. And so I'm consistent in my love language, and it hasn't changed. But I do actually, to speak to that, I don't think this is a test that you should just do once. I do think you should kind of revisit it, just because, especially for women, we are constantly evolving and changing, and to argue that your love language is going to be the same from the age of 15 to 55, to me, it seems a little false there. So I think as we grow, we change, we evolve, and I imagine that it has an impact on your love language. So super happy with how that came out, I guess. Except for the fact that it just reveals the actual work that's needed when you have juxtaposed
different love language than your partner.
Yeah, you're just a little bit more of a lift, but that's okay.
Yeah. Well, why is it important to know your love language?
Absolutely. So it's important to know your love language because life really gets much better when you get to know who you are. And a part of who you are is how you like to be loved and what you want out of love. And that is going to be unique and different for each and every one of us. So absolutely, you want to know it for you, but then you also want to know it to better connect with your partner. So, for instance, like in our scenario, it's cool that we share the acts of service, but we have things that are different. So what does that mean? That means that when we try to engage and try to connect with each other, we need to be mindful that I need to love you how you want to be loved, not how I want to love, right? So there's a difference between that. And this test is a really great reminder and a really great way to put that to the forefront of love people for how they want to be loved, not what you want to do. And then lastly, I would say another real good reason to take this test and to really dive deep in this is to reduce friction in your relationships, especially your romantic relationships, because if you come at the person a certain way, that might be the antithesis of their love language, or they may get offended because of how you're approaching the situation. So if you are interested in having less quarrels and having more lovey-dovey time, especially as Valentine's approaches.
V-Day.
V-Day, exactly. Video game playing day. Yep.
There's another V word that you can play with.
Oh, please say it, because what's in my mind is probably not what you're thinking.
Oh.
Say, what do you mean? What do you mean?
You want me to say what I mean?
Please say it. Say it closer.
You want me to say it? You're thinking something different.
I'm thinking something different. It can't be right.
Oh, it can't be right, really?
What are you saying?
I think it might be right.
What are you saying?
You want me to say it?
Yep.
Okay.
You are now listening to WokeNFree.
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 WokeNFree, a podcast about being real and honest.
Volcano?
Oh, yes. Okay, thank God.
It was a different word I was thinking of.
Oh, no. See, I can't. Stop playing with me. You know my mind goes all different places. So.
But your mind is in the right place, I think.
Hardly.
For this one, I think it is, though. I mean, there's two words I guess you can use, because you can be broad, or you can be very specific about this word. And they both begin with V.
Phenomenal.
I'm just saying that it's just I want to lead I don't want to say it because I want it to be like a game that people can try to solve.
Okay.
They can leave a comment if they want to about it. It's up to them.
Okay, that will be
I'll
interesting.
just leave it out. I'm
comments,
just leaving it out there. But
Okay.
there's definitely some other V words.
Oh my god.
So just remember that. Now, I think that it's important to know your love language because once you know your love language, then you can tell your partner kind of what you want, right? If you don't know it, then how are they supposed to? I mean, they might be able to guess it. Maybe they're not
good. Mind readers, though.
But if you don't know it and they don't know it, then how you're ever going to get that love that you actually crave? So it's good to know it because then you can tell your partner, "Hey, this is my love language," and then it's a topic that you can help build and grow together with, knowing that all right, this is how you should be loved. So I think that's why it's important to know your love language. The second thing is it's good to know your love language because then I think it takes away some kind of awkwardness that some people have about how they love because maybe you're expected to only love in one specific way. I don't think we're shown that. I don't think we're even taught that there's multiple ways to love. I think we're shown this is how you love somebody. It's kind of, you give them these gifts and you make a lot of money for them. It's stuff like that. They don't, it's not necessarily they show you the gambit of different ways to love. Like that's who teaches you that. I mean, your parents can, but school definitely doesn't do that. That's not their job. I wouldn't want them to, but the parents don't always teach you the right things, right? They don't, they might not know what you need, and everybody parents differently. So I think it's good for you to find out what your love language is, and then you can live with it and you can be more comfortable in your skin. You're like, this is just me. This is who I am. And not have to try to explain why you're like, I guess, a normal lover, right?
Gotcha.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, WokeNFree Nation. Scenario 1. Farnoosh's love language is physical touch. Dana's love language is words of affirmation. Could these individuals have a successful relationship?
Oh, what a great question or scenario. So I would say, without knowing any other facts about these fictional people.
They gotta be fictional.
Okay, sure.
But I mean, the scenario is fictional, but why do the individuals have to be fictional?
Inception.
That doesn't make sense. Inception, technically, it exists as a dream. Okay. Is that really fiction? Don't even play this game. Yeah, how deep does the rabbit hole go? I don't know.
As deep as it needs to go.
I just want you to know, this is all I want you to know, though. Those two names.
Look at you rhyming. Get away from me.
But this is very important. I don't know. The WokeNFree Nation might not even know it. But you better agree with this, I hope.
See?
You're gonna agree?
Yo no sé.
Okay, well, all I want to say is that these two people, although this scenario may not be real, indeed, those two people do exist on this planet.
Muy bueno.
That's all you could say to that? You're not even amazed by that?
No.
That these two actually do exist.
Claro que sí.
They do. They literally exist.
Claro que sí.
But maybe not in this scenario. They may not even know each other, but they do exist. That's all I'm saying.
Fantastic.
you should be amazed by that.
It. Yes, without knowing any other issues in their potential issues in their relationship, yes, you can have a successful relationship even if they do have different main primary love languages, because love, as you said earlier, does not have to only come in one way or form. So, as long as both Dana and Farnoosh are both in touch with what their love languages are capable of expressing it to each other, and are both willing to work on their relationship through demonstration of their love language and teaching and giving each other grace, then it should work.
Yeah, that's true. I agree wholeheartedly. Really, they definitely can learn to love each other in the way that they need. So it's not necessarily. I wouldn't even call it a red flag or anything. It's just it's just that's their personality. I guess that's who they are, and you can figure out how to give them what they need. Right? It's not. I don't think that destroys you, and it does, and it's not like it hurts you from learning to do that.
No, you'll actually be a more compassionate, better human for learning to love a different way.
Yeah, so this is an okay. This relationship gets the stamp of approval, at least just based on the generalities. I don't know what else is going on, but just on that doesn't say that they can't work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 2. Koirala always finds out a potential suitor's love language before beginning a relationship. If they are not closely aligned, she will end things immediately. Is this the best way to pursue love?
Oh, another very interesting scenario. So she probably is going to really struggle in her love journey if she's only looking for suitors that have a similar love language to her, because she can't guarantee that the other things that she's attracted to in a person is also going to come with that love language, right? So what if you happen to be attracted to certain traits that typically are not found with that love language? Then you're always going to be in a situation where you're finding half the battle of what you want and missing the other component. And I think that she needs to think about the overall holistic approach to love, right? So yes, love language is important, but that should not be the determining factor of whether you can be with someone. It should also be other factors like trust, like compatibility, like friendship, like sexual compatibility, attraction, ability to have kind of similar mindsets and want to grow and want to share values. Those, I would say, overarchingly are going to be the deciding factor of whether a relationship can last, not just like if we love the same way, because as you said earlier, you can learn to love differently and in different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is not the way to go about love. I would also say that I don't think she should look for the love language, but maybe, I mean, I don't know if you agree with this, but kind of like how we took the quiz and there was those questions in there. Maybe she can slip in some of those questions while she's on dates to say, "Hey, do you like it when I rub your back and stuff?"
Here we go again with this.
She could ask him, and then he could say,
"You're trifling,"
and he could, and the partner could say, "You know what? I'm not into giving back massages, but we can both go to Massage Superstar to get it done." So you can go to Massage World to get a good foot massage.
World.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of you.
That's where you go to really get it in.
Too.
And then you could ask for stuff like, I just like when you call me cute. You know, that makes me feel great. So you ask questions like that.
Excuse me?
I mean, if you're trying to find out what their love language is, don't ask them. They may not even know. Ask them the questions.
So before they even go on the date, like maybe they should do a pre-qualification and then take the test then. So she can at least get the data points. So now she's going to be really weird, right? To say, you have to take this love language test before I'll even date you. Yeah, so that's think of it as a job, flag. Yeah.
I mean, that's not strange at all. They could have had you this.
You know?
I mean, I disagree with that. I just think she should just take the questions and she can bring up the questions during the date. That's better than trying to do this weird thing where take this test before I even date you, because people are going to say, I'm not on a job interview. This is too much. It's gonna scare people away. But if you just ask some of the questions, you don't have to ask all of them.
Hey, there may be other things that might scare people away. So
oh, really?
This might just be.
I don't know what else it could be, but I mean,
okay.
I think she could ask the questions. Just don't straight up ask what your love language is. That just seems weird. I don't know if people do that.
Okay.
To just really like you'll be on the first date and say, hey, what's your love language? I don't even know how you slip that in. I mean, it's just,
no, there's no sexy way to get that in there.
it's like it's a mood killer, right?
1,000%. 1,000%.
It's almost like saying, hey, I got to do my taxes. No one wants to hear
conversation come on.
Oh, okay. Why did you bring that up?
Yeah.
So she's making a mistake.
But you know what? I do want to add in language, because sometimes people also feel afraid to bring something up because it isn't sexy, or like STI testing, right? Like for those who are
STDs, you mean?
I think, but don't people call it STIs too?
Oh, maybe
infectious diseases kind of thing.
It could be. Maybe I'm all right.
But either way, that's not particularly
I was thinking
sexy.
Of a car STI. When you said that, I'm like, that's a car. But you're saying that's a disease too. That's not particularly
sexy, but it is something that needs to be brought up. So I do want to just throw that out there for folks who are dating, who are listening, that sometimes you do want to bring up stuff that is not necessarily sexy and fun, but it's for the protection of you and your potential partner and interests. So, don't feel like... Now, in this scenario, the love language test is,
to say
it's not
so
sexy
specific.
And it's not needed for that, like in the beginning, but I would say
to me it's too
sexually transmitted diseases 1,000%. we have to be safe.
Would it be okay to ask if the person enjoys having their cat's litter changed by them? So say, I would love to change your cat litter to make you feel good. And would that be a
Are you asking me a real question?
I'm asking you if this would be a question that you could bring up, or you should be afraid to bring that up, because it might sound crazy. I think that how you're saying it sounds to me like you're asking me about something else. No, I'm not asking you. I'm saying she's on a date, and she's saying, I'll clean your cat's litter, because I know acts of service. And that might be the end of that date. So because I don't know what I don't know what she's expecting out of that response. Because then it's like, wow, I don't have to clean my cat's litter. You'll do that for me. That's good. You sound sick, Khalil. No, I'm thinking practically, because acts of service is a love language. So if you ask these kind of questions, then... Will you cut down timber for me too? Yeah, see, I like when my fireplace is filled with logs. Do you cut down trees? Oh, I bet you do. See, she could say that too. And that's what the person could answer, see? And then she knows that this person likes acts of service, not acts of touch. This part of the Matrix is getting weird. Oh, because you're trying to mix physical touch with acts of service, but they're two separate things. Who you telling? You wouldn't know words of affirmation if it hit you in the face. Oh, wow. That's amazing. 3% is what you like about it, so you know nothing of it. Oh, wow. That's interesting what you're saying. You're proposing that just because your love language might not align with a certain genre, or genre. So you can discuss choice. It. You're so disgusted I'm trying to made by them. Just because your love language doesn't align with that certain give me words of affirmation for today. The problem what would be a word of affirmation you'd share for me for today? That's easy. You're so beautiful. How is that an affirmation to who I am? Oh, you want me to give you affirmation? You're a brilliant entrepreneur. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, your words of affirmation is you're a dedicated father who's committed to being the epitome and living testimony of Black excellence. Wow, I mean, see how mine is gangster. No, you strung yours together though. See, I didn't know we were supposed to string them together like a three-piece combo. Like words. No, three-piece combo. Speaking English, yeah. That was a three-piece combo. Okay, the three-piece combo. Yeah, I had just Did you have a side of some mac and cheese and biscuits too, with some green beans? Exactly. See, I gave you the. You just gave me that drumstick and wig. I gave you a nice. Mine came separate. You ordered. Mine was the full meal. Yeah, you gave a meal, but I ordered separately, so I gave it to you in pieces. From the master. Smart. Smart. Just because that's not your love language doesn't mean you can't speak on it. That's all I'm trying to preach. Oh, okay. Because that's messed up to say. I mean, that's the same thing saying just because you haven't been to the moon, you can't talk about it. Absolutely. And I continue to argue that this part of the Matrix is weird. So, are you arguing that you can't talk about the Matrix, or you can, since you haven't been in it? Or have you? Is that what you're asking? We'll leave it for the audience to decide. To figure out what's going on here? Put it in the comments. Okay, maybe that would help. Scenario 3. Alan, the builder, told Eugene, the butcher, his love language will change as he ages. Do you agree with Alan? Oh. So I think I spoke to this earlier in the episode. I do believe that with age, your love language will change, because I would argue that when I was younger, I probably would have wanted like physical touch to be a higher priority love language. But in my true nature, it is not, just because for me, romance really is of the mind, not of the body. I think that, physical touch can be tantalizing and motivating and moving and romantic. However, because I'm a very cerebral person, I really like a love story begins in my mind before it ever has anything to do with physical touch. So, but I would say that I have seen that, like, me being more okay with that reality of who I am and just what my preferences are as I've gotten older. So I'm really excited to see, like, 20 years from now, how my love language changes. I still think that there's going to be more room for change, because again, I believe humans, much less just women, but humans evolve and change. And then that's going to affect your love and how you want to be loved, and also how you show love. I think it depends is the answer to this question, because I don't know. I think some people kind of know what they want, and even as they age, they don't change it. Mm-hmm. No, but even better, it's like, all right, look at those oak trees. They are hundreds of years old, and I don't call those bump on the logs. Those things are, hundreds of feet tall, so they're like doing the trees good. In Lord of the Rings. The walking ones that were angry? Mm-hmm. They weren't all angry. Some of them were jovial. I don't know. They looked like they put on some mean grimaces.
They had some interesting faces, though. Yeah,
yeah.
But they were ancient and historic and epic. Yeah.
Yeah. See, their love language didn't change. I can tell you that.
I can't speak to the love language of trees.
but just to get it straight, this was the Lord of the Rings trees. These weren't just trees. These are Lord of the Ring trees.
However, I still am not capable of addressing.
You can't speak on their love language.
Can
Interesting.
You?
Yes, I can, and I can speak for
on the love language,
but based off the movie.
Trees.
Yeah, but only based off the movie, not off the books, because I haven't read the books.
You've
but
clearly lost it.
No, based off the movies, I saw that their love language was one, and it only going to stay the same. It did not change over all the years that they were growing.
I think you're making a big jump and a big assumption.
You think that their love language change over
what do you think their love language was?
They're trees. I mean, they're trees.
What was it, though?
Or words of affirmation. Because when they talk junk to the trees, they wanted to destroy them. And then they had to be nice to the trees. And I like that they're a
monolith, right? They all have that one, just they think the same, act the same, even though they look different and talk different and had different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, but trees all grow out of the ground. They grow out of the earth. They grow out of Mother Earth, so they're the same.
Think you're making a big assumption.
Wow, you think that they had personalities now?
They presented that way in the films.
I mean, but they're a monolith, I thought. Well, I have to look again.
Life is a monolith.
I mean, we're talking about a fictional thing, though. That's a difference. But in real life, no, they wouldn't be a monolith. But I think their love language would still be the same, though. I think real trees' love language is all the same. You think they're different? Plants?
Again, I cannot speak to the love language
not all plants.
Of plants.
But trees specifically, it's going to be very similar.
I think they need a different Tescalo.
I hope so. They're not giving each other words of affirmation, or are they?
Shameful.
I don't know if they're doing that.
Shameful.
I mean, what else are they doing? I mean, they're giving each other gifts, though.
So, are you hinting to the fact that you think that your love language is going to stay the same for the next 50 or 80 or how many 100,000 years that you live?
Probably 5,000 years. My love language wouldn't change.
Okay, Pharaoh.
Don't just think that's my love language. It has nothing to do with my existence. It's just about the love language
that's
itself.
That's just going to stay consistent.
It's an idea that can just exist on its own in a vacuum. Even it's very powerful.
And do you think that is immovable because you want it to be that way, or do you really just don't see the possibility of your evolution as a human impacting how you love and or how you want to receive love and or give love?
Yeah, I just can't see it ever changing regardless of what happens. Do you think
there's a possibility of it, or you just are completely saying no, there's no possibility?
I mean, it's possible, but the possibility is so small that I consider it not to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely possible to change.
But less than a 5% opportunity situation then.
Yeah, it would be less than that. I don't, and I think there's other people out there like that where they have a love language at 18 and they hit 50 and it's really it's the same. Maybe their second most thing will change, but their number one love language sign or whatever we call these categories, I think that can stay the same depending on the person.
Well, yeah, I definitely would want to revisit this topic some years down the road just to see if your answer changes, if we do this test again, kind of what would be the difference for the results and thereafter. But
and you can take this test multiple times, I'm guessing, on the same site. You don't need a new site.
I believe you can. You might have to have a different email address.
Oh, really? All right. I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
You don't remember what you did?
Nope. Don't remember. All right. But nonetheless, it looks like we are at that time again. It's coming to the end of our 283rd episode of WokeNFree. Good Lord. Quite the episode discussing what's your love language. Now, Khalil, what do folks need to do?
Come back next week for the new WokeNFree Wednesday episode. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation, and make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you'd like to be a guest on the show or share your topic of interest to you, you can always find us on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That's WokenFree.com. On social, you can always hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest, and LinkedIn at WokenFree. And all sponsorship and collaboration queries should visit our Contact Us page at WokenFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokenFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokenFree is more than a podcast. It is a way of life. Till next time.
WokenFree love.